What is up, everybody? It is Lawrence again from My Squeakers. I'm going to get into this one really quickly just because this is an iconic sneaker that we all know and love already, but it's finally done correctly in my eyes, and I finally have a pair. So without further ado, here is the Air Force 1 07 LV8. Is the LV8 part of this? Craft. But it's the Air Force 1 Craft. So before getting to the review, let's do the rundown really quickly. In terms of pricing, these are $120, which I think is about $30-ish more than the typical Air Force 1 done in a non-premium version. And that is the basic bitch version. I mean, this still looks like a basic bitch shoe, so it's fine, but like this is the nicer version of that. In terms of sizing, I typically go half size down. I think most people go half size down, so I'm going to recommend, yes, you guessed it, half size down. In terms of comfort, these are a lot better than your typical Air Force 1, and I would give the regular Air Force 1 about a 5, maybe even a 4 in terms of comfort. They're just really not that comfortable of a sneaker, especially with the synthetic leather. That sucks, and there's not much flexibility in the sole itself. It does wear away over time if you've ever had an Air Force 1, but for the most part, those are typically 4s. But this one's actually super comfortable. Surprisingly so, and so that's actually one of the main reasons why I haven't gotten an Air Force 1. I've been wanting to buy a pair of the John Elliott's, which are significantly more comfortable, but I never pulled the trigger before. That's a story for another time. But I was back in the market for a white sneaker, and this really fit the bill in terms of comfort finally. Just because like I've had common projects and other ones, and I've had I've tried on Stan Smiths all over again, and I hated them. And I think this really strikes a good balance of that comfort level and style level. And I really just love the way the pebbled leather looks. And it just looks a little more premium than your typical Air Force 1. And that's it with the rundown. So let's start with the review and start with upper like we always do. So there's not much to say about the sneaker. It is a tumbled white leather that you can see. It is significantly softer and much more pliable, and you can tell it's almost like a thicker cut, if not just more leather in terms of thickness than your typical Air Force 1. I feel like the Air Force 1 is like an overlay or like some type of, it's just really shitty leather. So this feels a lot better to the touch. It's softer. It is tumbled, so it gives it a very different look. It gives it almost like a premium look, which is nice. But all throughout, you just have underlays and overlays of the same exact leather. You have the white swoosh done in the same leather, and you have the perforated toe box over here that has the same leather. Where there are some changes that do not look like their typical Air Force 1. So typically in your Air Force 1, you will have a leather piece over here, and also some type of stitching that says Nike on it. I think it says Nike Air on it. Over here, you just have a very plain, which I like, suede piece, and it's a little fuzzy suede. It feels good. Feels good to the touch. The other change that you have here is instead of your Nike Air, you have a new Nike Air Force 1 logo that's on the top over here, and I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else except for this sneaker. But the other two notable changes in the lacing area is instead of having a Nike symbol that is typically right there, you actually have a little lace holder that's in the middle that says AF1. And finally, moving on to the back, you also have a little leather piece that says AF1 instead of that Nike logo that I talked about earlier. But for the most part, everything else is exactly the same in terms of looks, in terms of the midsole and outsole. Where there is a huge change though, and you can't see it on camera, this feels like memory foam on the inside. I don't know if it is memory foam, but it definitely feels like memory foam, and this is what makes it supremely more comfortable. So the idea of both the upper being just a nicer leather, and the fact that this memory foam like material is on the insole. I actually don't know if you can even take it out. Yeah, you can. But it just feels a lot better. It just feels more premium, and I'm just really impressed with the craft version of the sneaker. There's a lot of other colorways with black and white, and then I believe there's like an olive and a navy one coming out. But I would say that like if you haven't had a chance and you love Air Force 1s, it's worth the $30 premium to get the craft version. And that's it, guys. If you like this video, definitely hit the thumbs up button. If you like this content and more content like it, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get more in the future. And until next time, this is the Air Force 1 Craft. Peace.